afternoon, everybody. As Vandana has just now said, it happens to be World Nutrition Day. And the theme this year is Feeding Smart Right from the Start. Feeding Smart Right from the Start. And on this World Nutrition Day, let's take a pledge, what is called a protein pledge, to have adequate protein in our diets. So today our concentration will be that we have 5-6 speakers today who is going to talk about nutrition in special situations, and also will focus on the protein. I'm privileged that ICMR and National Institute of Nutrition brought the guidelines after 13 years on the 8th of May, and all of you have got the copies and the link of the same. My request is that you download that particular thing, and it is like a summary to all of you. Now these guidelines, I'm reminded by my friend. She used to say that, Meenakshi Dekhe, she used to say that know your nutrition well, doctors, and counsel your patient on diet, otherwise dietitians are going to soon replace you. I think it's very, very correct that slowly and slowly हर आदमी आता है वो कहता है कि डॉक्टर साहब दवा नहीं चाहिए हमें, आप कुछ हमें ऐसे बता दीजिए कि हम नेचुरल वे में ठीक हो जाएं, चाहे वो इनफर्टिलिटी हो और चाहे वो पीसीओडी की 6-6 महीने की एमेनोरिया हो. एवरीबॉडी वांट्स दैट इट शुड बी अ नेचुरल वे. आप कुछ डाइट से उसका कुछ बता दीजिए. So I repeat again, the doctors should know their nutrition well and counsel each and every patient of yours, otherwise dietitian will soon replace you. There is a Chinese proverb which says, when I hear, I forget. वो अपने गुरु को बोल रहा है. I hear, I forget, but when I see, I remember, and when I do, I understand. So the basic idea is, today in last 24 years of existence of Delhi Gynecologist Forum, we've never had a dedicated CME on nutrition. So today is the first CME that we are having it on a nutrition, and when we planned it, we did not think that it is going to be World Nutrition Day, and it happens to be important day. So at least I think each one of you should listen to these presentations, and I'm sure it is going to make hell of a difference. India is a capital of malnutrition. Around 75% of India's population cannot afford healthy diet, and 40% fell short of nutrient adequate one. When Human Development Index is concerned, in list of 209 countries, India stands at 160th level. Very sad state as far as the nutrition is concerned. And as far as India's position is concerned, it is on a global hunger score, it is 28.7, which is again a very serious score. This shows that there is a lot of stunting, wasting, and under 5 mortalities raised in such group. Now, as far as where India stands, as far as the malnutrition is concerned, the global data is 9.2, Indian data is 16.6%, and the China is way apart from us, it is 2.5. One can say that एक रेस जो बहुत छोटी हाइट की रेस हुआ करती थी, now you find an average person, their athlete is not less than 6 feet. And this is all because when the TV came, General Mao came on the TV and said, in Chinese cuisine you have to leave, and if you want your race to become really taller. And from that particular time, the Chinese cuisine which we eat, probably they do not propagate. Why there is so much of problems with us? There is a gross economic inequality, and a diet lacks both in quantity and quality. It is, thank God, that the severe form of malnutrition which we used to study during our MBBS days, is not seen anymore. And this is because of the Government of India and ICDS hard work on nutrition, that these all poorly malnourished children are no more seen these days. Now, as far as this new guidelines are concerned, which was released on 7/5, it has come after 13 years, and according to this, 60% of the total disease burden of this country is because of the unhealthy diet. 60% of the diseases which we see today is because of the unhealthy diet. There is an epidemic of heart disease, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, and we have lost a track of home healthy food. People, because of studies, they get out from their houses, they stay in PG and survive on junk food to save money and the cost. ICMR has come very heavily on outside food, on a processed food, diet which is rich on high fat, high salt and high sugar food. Protein supplementation in bodybuilding. Protein supplements, if proposed, processed in best factories, are useful. In our day-to-day practice, we use it in anemia, we use it for post-operative patients, we also use sometime in pregnancy and in old age. Thanks to COVID, Narendra Modi gave free ration for 80 crore Indians, and it is continuing, and it is told that another 5 years it is going to be continued, and it will make sure that nobody is sleeping hungry. But khali mota anaj dene se kaam nahi hoga. It does not take the quality of the diet, and India is hungry for micronutrient deficiency, which we call a hidden hunger. We say that anemia and the malnutrition are two sides of the same coin. Subclinical malnutrition is very difficult for us to know, but anemia can be easily diagnosed and treated. Anemia cannot be eliminated unless the protein element is taken care of. 6 out of 10 Indian are micronutrient deficient. Government of India figures, and 9 out of 10 Indian lack adequate protein. And there had been a survey in 4 metros in 22. It was a large survey which was well published in national dailies, and it showed 9 out of 10 lack adequate protein. Now, this is in spite of the Government of India and the FSSAI is aggressive on Eat Right India and Eat Right Herbalife. We have had a session 2-3 times on this particular thing. Sahi Bhojan, Behtar Jeevan. And the traditional foods, healthy lifestyle, and it should be the personal responsibility of every individual. Now, as for the dietary guidelines, in this there are 15 dietary guidelines to provide a broad framework for appropriate action, which every child must know, every citizen must know. Eat variety of food to ensure balanced diet, especially because we are vegetarians. Ensure provision of extra food during pregnancy and lactating women. Promote exclusive breastfeeding for 6 months and encourage breastfeeding till 2 years or as long the woman can give the breastfeeding to the child. Feed home-based semi-solid food to the infant after 6 months. Ensure adequate and appropriate diets for children and adolescents, both in health and sickness. This is one area which is neglected, and that is the reason that our children are still not getting the proper heights. Eat plenty of vegetable and fruits. Ensure moderate use of edible oil, animal foods, and very less use of ghee, butter, and vanaspati. Avoid overeating to prevent overweight and obesity. Exercise regularly and be physically active to maintain ideal body weight. Restrict salt intake to minimum and ensure the use of safe and clean food. Adopt right pre-cooking processes and appropriate cooking methods. In this new guidelines, there is a great chapter on this particular thing. Drink plenty of water. Minimize the use of processed food rich in salt, sugar, and fats. Include micronutrient-rich food in the diets of the elderly it is said for them to be fit and active, 50% of their diet should be from the fruits and the raw vegetables. Now, these are the major constituents as far as the diet is concerned. Diet, energy-rich foods. These are mainly carbohydrates and fats, and we all know comes grains, millets, vegetable oils, ghee, butter, nuts and oil seeds and sugars, and the other things which nutrients are there, which these food products give is given on the right hand side. Bodybuilding foods are mainly proteins which come pulses, nuts and oil seeds, milk and milk products, meat, fish and poultry, and then the protective foods are vitamins and minerals which come from the green leafy vegetables and other vegetable and fruits and egg and dairy products. So when it comes to the food pyramid, the grains, dal chawal, dal roti, you have to consume adequately. As for the fruits and raw vegetables are concerned, eat liberally and eat moderately as far as the animal food is concerned and oils. And as far as the desserts are concerned, it should be taken rarely. We must abstain from tobacco and as far as alcohol is concerned. Now, as for the proteins are concerned, today is the day that we are going to pledge for protein, that our diet should be rich in protein. Proteins are primarily structural and functional components of every living cell. Almost half of the protein in our body is in the form of a muscle, and the rest of it is in bone, cartilage and skin. Proteins are complex molecules, and certain amino acids are termed essential, which we do not get in our body. It comes from our diet, and some are synthesized in our own body. The other non-essential amino acids are synthesized in the body to build proteins, and we know as far as energy source of protein is concerned, it is 4 calories per gram. As you can see here in this particular chart, as for the elderly are concerned, their calories are less, but their diet should be nutrient dense, low fat food. As for the adults are concerned, ये मशक्क़त का time है, so they have to be nutritionally adequate calories, and they must be provided extra food during pregnancy and lactation. As for the adolescent time is concerned and child thing, all energy rich foods, bodybuilding and protective foods are required. As you can see here, that all of us have to learn how to control our portion. If we feel that we are getting overweight, we have to see that our portion in the diet gets curtailed, and elderly should take care of themselves because they eat less, that they should decrease their calories, but 50% of their diet should be rich in food and in vegetables. As far as the undernutrition is concerned, I did tell you that a severe form has disappeared, but subclinical undernutrition and malnutrition is still seen, and we are home for micronutrient deficiencies, which are basically anemia, vitamin A, 9 blindness, and goiter because of iodine deficiency. As far as the micronutrient deficiencies are stand, the anemia stands tall, so is the vitamin A deficiency, and now we are facing the deficiency of vitamin D. Iodized salt has changed the face of the country, and we do not see any more goiters now. Now, as far as India is concerned, wasting is seen in 18% of people, stunting is around 35%, and malnutrition is seen in 16% of people. Causes of malnutrition, you all know about it, I don't have to tell you. The girls are looking for a pencil figure. Worm infestation is around, so is our country is a diarrhea country. We have a lot of tuberculosis. People are in the craze of junk foods, and the people who have to do a hard labor or who are athlete are not having a proper diet as yet. As for the overnutrition is concerned, again we are part of it. 35% of us are either overweight or obese. Central obesity is because of the increase in visceral fat, is a source of all bad diseases which are killing our Indian people in any part of the world they may move. And metabolic syndrome, each one of us must be obsessed with it. There are 5 components of metabolic syndrome. Any 2 of them, of 2 of the 5 are present, again it is a signals that you are going to have a non-communicable diseases. So as far the individualized diet is concerned, the approach should be dietary variety, because vegetarians, in case if you find it has to have a quality one, they have to change, and the variety of diet should be there. Lifestyle factor, rule of 80 to 100. जब 100 की भूख लगे तो 80 खाएं तो आप पतले रहेंगे. And portion control also we Indians have to learn. Now as for the counseling part is concerned, I think doctors have to see to it that they correct nutrient deficiencies, replenish depleted stores, and restore and maintain adequate energy balance. As far as the guidelines say that any adult sedentary worker requires 200 calories diet, and out of that vegetables and fruit should make 500. The fiber content of the food should be around 30 gram, and the protein content should be 0.85 per kg. As far as the carbohydrate is concerned, there is nothing like no carb diet. It is low carb diet, and it should be 100 to 150 or 130 grams of glucose is required, because brain uses glucose and glucose only. And this is applicable for a child, anything more than 1 year. This much part of the carbohydrate is required for the brain supply of energy. The fat should be 30% of the total energy of the day. Nuts and seeds should be 35 grams a day. Pulses, eggs, and the flesh food should be around 15% of the total calories. Again, carbohydrate, I repeat again that there's nothing like low carbohydrate diet. Brain glucose consumption, for that you require minimum of 100 to 130 grams per day. Unprocessed complex carbohydrates you have to choose. It will provide not only the energy, but also essential nutrients, fibers, and phytochemicals that contribute to overall great health of ours. Grains and millets in our diet should not be more than 45%, and the sugar should be not more than the 5% of the total calories we take in a day. As for the proteins are concerned, I did tell you that adults require 0.85 gram of protein per kg. As far as the individuals who are active and athletes require 1.2 to 2.2 grams, and now it is said that above 1.6 gram protein per kg is not required. This is what the latest guidelines have come from the ICMR. Muscle building, and for this thing, the aim is to build muscle mass through strength training or bodybuilding. 1.6 grams per kg of body weight is enough as for the proteins are concerned. Elderly populations require proteins of 1 to 1.2 grams per kg. For a weight management, again people require from 1.2 to 2 grams per kg. In severe illnesses, again 1.2 to 2.5 grams per kg. So today is a World Nutrition Day. Let's take a protein pledge to have an adequate protein in our diets, because the survey which had been done, 70% of our diet lacks protein. This particular slide shows, how much protein. 3 eggs, you can see here. We all adults require 1.5 to 2 eggs per day. Now, critical care, intensive care setting, again the protein requirement increases, and so is in the chronic diseases. Dietary fat are essential component of a diet. They support nutrition absorption and playing a crucial role in various physiological functions and making all rich vitamins. Fat factor is important whenever we talk about cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and metabolic syndrome, and in our diet we have to advise accordingly. As for the dietary fat is concerned, healthy fats are monosaturated and polysaturated fats. Omega-3 fatty acids is the best example for a good antioxidant. Limiting saturated fats and avoiding trans fat is essential for our heart health. Monosaturated fats come from nuts, olive oil, and from healthy nuts. It is called healthy fat. Polysaturated fats found in fatty fish, flax seeds, chia seeds, and walnuts. Again, we should see that we include them in our diet. Saturated fats we must limit markedly, and the source of them are red meat, and that's why we say that to avoid red meat. And full fat dairy products also have saturated fats. Trans fats are come when we do repeated foiling from the same oil. Again, it is very detrimental for gametes these days. Vitamins, I think to this August gathering, I don't need to tell you that vitamin A, C, and D are important, and we should not allow deficiencies to take place. Same is vitamin E, K, and vitamin B. As for the minerals are concerned, we all know about the calcium, iron, zinc, and magnesium. I just wish to tell you is that our vegetarian diet provides us 18 milligram of iron per day, while our requirement is 35 milligram per day. Avoid overeating to prevent overweight and obesity. All of us, you know about it. And points to ponder is that slow and a steady reduction in a body weight is advisable. Severe fasting may lead to health hazards. Achieve energy balance and appropriate weight for height. Encourage regular physical activity 1 hour in 24 hours. And eat small meals and learn the art of portion control. Here every line is important. Cut down your sugar, salt, fatty foods, refined foods, soft drinks, and alcohol. Eat complex carbohydrates, low glycemic foods, and fiber rich in diet. Increase consumption of fruits and vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and nuts. Limit fat intake and shift from saturated to unsaturated fats. Avoid trans fats altogether, and bakery products, sweets, and vanaspati, all these products have to be curtailed altogether. जो चीज़ फैक्ट्री से होके आई वो आपके लिए नहीं है. Use low fat milk. As far as the water is concerned, we all know how much water you have to take. If safety is the issue, boiled water is good. ICMR has recommended 250 ml of boiled or pasteurized milk per day. Drink natural and fresh fruit juices instead of carbonated beverages. And fresh juices se bhi aapko fresh fruits is much better. Prefer tea over coffee, but both should be avoided with meals and after meals. Avoid alcohol. Those who drink should limit their intake. Pregnancy, they are going to be separate talk altogether, so I think I'm just going to curtail this. But we should also advise sprouted grams and fermented foods for them. Again, this is pregnancy, it will be taken. As for the indication for protein supplements are concerned, whenever a person is recovering from any disease, we give protein supplementation. In anemia, to make for protein bulk. In patients who are complaining of weakness, malnutrition, elderly patients, hospitalized patients, post-surgery, post-pediatric surgery. Now, B protein is my choice. I don't use any other protein. I've started using it for the last 2 years and I find it has good results. Protein, carbohydrates, fats, and vitamins, minerals is our components. 40% is the protein component. Beside 5% fat and 50% carbohydrate. If you take a drink, which is 2 tablespoons, if you take it in water, it will give you a calorie of 116. If you take in a skimmed milk, it will give you calories of almost 180. If you take in a whole milk, will be 277. Now, it has got whey protein, it has got soya proteins, and PUFA with anti-inflammatory and immunomodulatory activities it has got plenty of minerals and vitamins. So I will say in the end, whenever you see things, see with your eyes, see with your ear, your experience is the best experience. Don't go by anybody else. Invest in your health, and thank you very much.